Hi there, I'm Daniela. Welcome to a space created for women struggling with their breast implants or have already said goodbye to them, just like we did.
And I'm Michelle. We're so glad you're here. Together, we're supporting a community of courageous women redefining beauty and confidence.
The Breast Implant Breakup Podcast
Starts now. Hey, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here at the Breast Implant Breakup. It's such a pleasure to have you on board on another great talk. My name is Michelle.
And I'm Daniela. We're so excited to be doing this again and to talk a little bit more about what happened after the surgery. So today, for me, it's been 8 weeks and I feel amazing. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the drains, when you wake up after the anesthesia, and all the things after the surgery. So it's going to be so good. But how are you doing, Michi?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited about this conversation. I love the fact that it's only been 8 weeks for you since you had your implants out. It's been about 4 to 5 years for me, so I'm starting to forget all the details of the experience. But again, you just went through that, so you're going to guide us through the whole experience and tell us about how you did.
That's
so
right.
let's start from the beginning. Right after you got done with surgery, tell us about how did it feel? Like, do you remember them telling you to do something in particular? Did they make you stretch? Did they make you, go to a different room and rest for a little bit?
Well, I remember that I woke up and my husband said that I start talking a lot, and I don't even remember 80% of that. And but I felt really good, and I remember the doctor came, and then anesthesiology and everyone, and I was asking questions like, "Do you remove everything?" I remember asking this. Did you remove the capsule? Like everything was okay? And he said, "Yeah, I removed both capsules, and one of them I have to scrape." Off because it was just not in one piece. But I did get my implants, so I want to show you.
Let's see them.
Because I'm excited. Like, I'm so lucky that they look perfectly fine. I have seen many women posting about how they are like kind of yellowish and they are broken in pieces. So at least mine were good, and this is how they look like. This is 400 volume, so they were kind of
400
big.
cc's?
Yes.
They look so big.
I know.
And I used to have 425, so mine were even bigger than that. And I never got my breast implants back. And I think that we mentioned on our past episode that if you ever go through the surgery, to ask for them, because you paid for those implants, so they are yours. You can bring them back home with you and do whatever you please with them. So ask for your implants. You want to see the condition that they're in, and mostly you want to get them back because, again, they're yours.
Yeah, absolutely. I did not get the capsules. I did ask for
You
it,
don't
and
want
they
that.
say, you know what? I'm sorry, we got them out, we threw them away.
Yeah, that's like
We
dead tissue, right?
Disposal, And so I'm like, that's okay. But I'm grateful that they let me keep.
It would be great, though, to advise women that if possible, they ask their doctors to take a picture of that capsule so they can see the condition that it was, just for information. Like, I think sometimes it's reassuring that you made the right decision, especially if the capsule or the implant is not in great condition. You're like, thank goodness I did this on time. So it's good to see that, right?
Yeah, that's true. I did not ask for a picture, so that was my mistake as well.
I know.
But it's okay.
But that's what we're here for, to share how we missed opportunities and make sure that people that are going through this experience for the first time don't miss it at home. So now you know, ladies.
So then when I woke up, I think in my own head, I was there for like 30 minutes and then they sent me home. I don't know if maybe it was a little bit more. I was not very conscious about time.
Yeah.
But my husband say, "Oh my gosh, you were asking 100 questions to the doctor." And I'm like, "Did I?" He's like,
He should have
"Yes."
filmed you.
But he said that they were good questions. So you did ask good questions. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, okay.
So I was smart.
Yes.
Even though after the anesthesia.
I thought you were just being like,
know.
those videos where you see kids after they have like teeth removed or things like that, and they just start saying crazy things.
I know. No,
on their way back
apparently I
home.
was very smart.
Good.
And so anyway, I went back home and, very careful. The drains was the thing that it was more
Bothersome?
hurtful
okay.
for me.
It hurt a little?
Yeah, because I don't know why. I mean, I got the drains on the side of my incision. So I know that a lot of women get the drains in the same cut,
Right. Uh-huh.
And for some reason, I got mine on the sides, and it was like a hole. I can see it, like, the drains coming out. Very important to be very careful with those, especially if you're a mom, if you have little ones in the house, because one of my kids by accident kind of pulled one of them, and I felt like, oh my gosh, this is so painful. So
I'm sorry.
you have to be very careful.
Yeah.
And taking care of those, you need to wash them out and clean the whole thing. So, but that was a very important part of the process.
And now, not all women get drains, though, right?
That's correct.
Some doctors choose not to. I don't understand really like how that works. I got drains as well, but I guess it's not the experience that all women have.
I don't know. I have a friend who said that she got the drains out the same day, and I have mine for like 5 days.
I had mine for 3 days.
Yeah, and I asked her like, how? I actually called the doctor and say, can I get them out? I can't do this anymore. Sleeping, everything was just uncomfortable. And they say, well, how much of the the blood and all the things you have coming out, how much is it? And I'm like, still like 20 milliliters.
Yeah.
And
mLs.
Yeah, mLs. And they say, no, it have to be under, I think it was 15 or 10 for at least 2 days. 48 hours. And
that's
I'm
why
like,
it took a little longer for you.
So I was like, okay. And I think it's just depend on how your body responds to the surgery. But I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
We're no experts.
No, I'm not an expert.
You could have a different experience by, again, not even having drains at all.
Yeah.
But
and and then anesthesia. Oh my gosh, that was a hard thing for me too, because
it was kind of rough for you, huh, Danny?
Well, I got scared the first night at home because every time I wanted to fall asleep, I felt like I was floating. My head was like flying, and I'm like, I feel like kind of high or something.
Wait, but you were under pain meds, and that's probably what was happening. It was the pain meds.
That's exactly what it was, but I didn't remember at the time. So I remember it was like 2 a.m, and because every time I wanted to fall asleep, I felt that in my head, I will like force myself not to sleep. And I thought, is this normal? What's going on with my head? Like, there's something wrong. And then once I was very exhausted, I will fall asleep. And the next day I told my husband, I don't think this is okay. And he said, Daniela, you're taking narcotics. Like, you're taking very, very strong painkillers. That's what it does. And I'm like, oh, that's exactly what it was. I didn't enjoy it. So I was like, you know what? I don't even have
How long were you on those pain meds for?
Well, that's the thing. They give you for a few days, but I was the first night like, I don't even feel pain on my breast. I did not have any pain. I was a little sore on the drains, but I didn't have the pain. And I'm like, I don't need this. I can just take ibuprofen. Any other, over the counter.
Totally. Yeah, I think maybe 800 milligrams of ibuprofen might be fine. Of ibuprofen.
Oh, ibuprofen, yes.
Yeah, because I remember that's kind of the amount that I got when I got my implants in and when I got them removed. Now, it all depends on how much you can tolerate pain. Maybe you don't need that much. Maybe just 400 is fine.
No, and I was like, and actually I didn't take it the next day, and I slept like a baby. I was like, okay, it was definitely the painkillers what were doing that to me. And
be careful with the painkillers as well. I really don't think they're necessary, but again, it's up to every person and how they deal with pain.
And the funny thing, I started having headaches. And I remember telling my doctor, I'm having a heavy headache. And he said, yeah, that could be the painkiller, after the anesthesia and all the things. And I'm like, but it's a painkiller. Isn't it supposed to help me with the headache? And he said, no, it's helping you with the pain and all the inflammation for the surgery, but it could give you a headache. And I'm like,
interesting.
What? Interesting. Yeah. I'm like,
the side effects might include exactly what's trying to be.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, it's not working for me. But anyway, after that, I will say that what I'm excited to share is the process of the first 48 hours when I was able to take a shower. Finally. And I remember I was in
I'm
front
like,
of the
there's
mirror.
people that can go 48 hours without a shower. No problem. Just saying.
Well, and you don't remember how it was for you? The painkillers, the whole drain thing.
I don't remember much pain. I don't think it, it wasn't that bad for me from what I remember. And again, it was only 3 days with the drains. Removing them was not painful at all. It was just a weird feeling. It feels like they're, sucking something out of your body.
But where they were located?
They were on my incision, the one that they used to go in and remove the implants.
Yeah, you
so
see
they
different
didn't
than mine.
give me another, they didn't cut me somewhere else for that. Maybe that's why, because
Yeah, and I
was
felt a little
already
sore.
like scar tissue in there.
I felt a little sore on my ribs because
bet.
of that. But anyway, I was in front of a mirror. I have my husband looking at me, and I'm like, okay, let's just see how it looks like.
This is after removing your drains as well.
No, this is 48 hours after
Okay,
the
you still have
surgery.
the drains.
I still have the drains, which it was a challenge to shower like that.
Yeah, with drains.
But I'm going to tell you, but I removed the bandage, and all I can see is my face in the mirror, like, and my husband had the same face, like, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And he's like, you look so beautiful. I just love you so much. And I'm like, what is that face? And I'm like, I didn't do anything. I know you did because I have this in face. I mean, it was a shock. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And I hope this doesn't discourage you on not doing this if this is something you have been wanting to do. But I'm gonna be honest, this was a change in my body.
It's a shock. And it's after 20 years of seeing yourself with breast implants.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't
of
even
course
remember
it's
how
gonna
they
shock.
looked like before.
Yeah.
So I just saw it and I was like, well, I'm gonna give you the details. Like, because initially my implants were put through the nipples. Once you remove the implants and this big, the nipples kind of like look tucked in or fold in.
Like it's all scar tissue, so it's like folding in and of itself.
Yes.
In itself.
So I was like, oh no. My husband, like I say, he was so supportive, and I say, okay. So I took the shower. It's a challenge to take a shower with those drains. I'm not going to lie. But you know what? As long as you have somebody that maybe can give you a hand and help you, and if not, you will figure it out.
Yeah.
And you know what? I cry. I had some tears, but at the same time, they were tears of, what is this? It was happiness. I'm finally free. I don't have this anymore. I didn't have that pressure on my chest, so I felt like I can breathe. Take a deep breath, and it was okay. I knew it was gonna be okay. And I have friends who share with me already. You know what? It's gonna give your body some time.
Yeah.
They're gonna eventually come out again and look normal, but it's being 48 hours. And I don't know how was it for you?
Well, for me, again, it was a very simple post-surgery experience. Like, I didn't experience a lot of pain. I don't remember even needing help to shower and things like that. Like, I was okay by myself, only because I didn't have a partner. So I remember, I was staying with my mom at the time, and she was definitely not helping me in the shower at all. But the first time I saw myself in the mirror, yes, it is a shock. But at the same time, I had a different experience than you, because I didn't think, oh no, like my breasts don't look as great. I thought, goodness, like, I was so willing to look and have the perfect body that I did this to myself. And I looked at my scars, which were like, they had gone through the same scar that they had open underneath my breast.
Also, your nipples look okay.
My nipples were fine, because they never touched that. They had gone through the same scar, but it was a little bit bigger, wider than how I remember it, obviously. And just post-op, obviously, it's very dark and, like in your face.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking, like, I did this so that I can look beautiful. And I felt a little almost like embarrassed with myself and like feeling guilty. And I felt like I needed to give myself an apology and say, I'm sorry I did this to you. Right. I cut you twice.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, this is a very abrasive, very extreme kind of measure to fit into society's standards of beauty.
Yeah.
And it like just dawned on me on that moment, like how extreme I had gone to have the perfect body. So I just had a moment of feeling that, kind of embarrassment. Like, I'm so sorry I did that. And I promise I'll take better care of you. And I won't put you through any more cuts or surgeries or things like that, because I don't think I need them anymore. But it's quite shocking to realize that you have put yourself through a very extreme thing. And I remember later on, I was looking at a National Geographic magazine, and I was looking at these cultures in Africa where they have the women put rings on their neck.
Oh, yeah.
And they kind of like put more rings as they get older, so they stretch out their necks, right? And I thought, what an interesting and extreme experience of beauty, because I can only imagine maybe it's good for you. I don't know. Maybe it feels great to have your neck stretched out and you don't have headaches or back pain. Who knows? In my head, it feels like it's a little extreme. And then I realized what I had done to myself, and I looked at my scars again and thought, and that was just
different.
as extreme. But it's approved by this culture who says, yeah, sure, like put these things inside of you, and we'll normalize it so that you don't think it's extreme. But really, those are kind of rough things we do to our bodies to fit in. So it was mostly that, an experience of an apology to myself. And then I had to be the one telling myself, it's fine. I look okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And it took a while before I felt like, oh, actually, I think I still feel very sexy and I still feel very nice. But it takes patience. And I think that that's a good reminder. Like, it's going to take a while before you feel like you're 100% happy with that decision.
Yeah. And something that helped me feel a little bit better with myself was to go shopping, because I need a new bra. So I needed a specific one that it has like a zipper in the middle, so you will be able to, remove the drains in an easy way. So I did. I went shopping and I could find some bras that has like a little pad, and I started feeling like, okay, it's gonna be okay. And after the 5 days, they removed the drains, and I'm gonna say it was not painful, but it was weird. Like, as they are taking them out, you can feel, and I was just impressed of how much was inside.
Yeah, when right? It's like they keep pulling and pulling.
When my kid pulled it out by accident, I was like, oh no, what if it comes out? Should I put it in again and push it in? And I didn't touch it. And when I was at the doctor, it was just coming out and out. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how long is that thing? So, and he said, yeah, it's very long. And maybe that's why I was so sore on my ribs. But anyway, I will say be very patient, very kind, very gentle with your body. Do not freak out. It's normal that they don't look the way they used to look. It's going to be a change. It's going to take a while. It can take months. It can take a year. Who knows? Just love the process. And there are ways you can feel beautiful anyway, because like I say, you can find like this sport bra. It has pads, and I love it.
Pads will become your best friends. And you realize that, hey, if I was willing to wear those inside my body, why can't I just wear pads on my clothes? That's totally fine. So ladies, pads, that's what we do now after we remove breast implants. We can still have a little bit of a shape. We can still look like we have more than we actually do. Because I was thinking about, we think, oh, no, we can't wear pads because that's kind of lying that we have the breasts that we actually don't. And that's not lying. Let me grab one of those guys. Like, this is also a more normalized lie. Like, you have them inside your body, but it's still not real. Like, these are not your breasts. These are implants you have inside of you.
It's not part of your body.
So if we were totally fine with doing that and keeping them inside our bodies for 10, 20, whatever years, why can't we be okay with having pads on our clothes that is completely fine, they won't hurt you? So let's transition into that kind of like adjusting our clothes to fit, the styles that we want to wear.
Yeah. So, well, I guess next time we're going to be just talking about what is the next step, the visit to the doctor again, so he can see how you're doing and all the things.
Yeah.
And we're going to have so many amazing things that we're going to be sharing with you. We also have great news because we're going to be on a Spotify very soon. So if you cannot watch us on YouTube. You can listen to us or watch us too, but on Spotify, and it's going to be so good.
That's right. And we absolutely want to hear your comments of what was your experience like. If you have already gone through removing your breast implants, tell us about it. How was it the first time that you saw yourself in the mirror after removing the breast implants? Was it also shocking as it was for us? And obviously, eventually in more episodes, we will talk about the journey of rediscovering our beauty and accepting our new bodies.
And finding new clothes.
And finding new clothes. Yeah, let's not forget about that fun part as well.
I enjoy going shopping.
Who doesn't? Anyway, ladies, thank you so much for watching. This has been another episode of the Breast Implant Breakup. We'll see you next time.